Hello and welcome to Stateside. Me, Graham Hughes, and I'm joined, as nearly always, by Mikey Famine over in the US of A. How you doing, Mikey? You all right?
Hello, Graham. It is I, the famine of mics, the Lord of Bones, they call me. How is things for you?
All right, we're going on your channel tonight as well at the same time, aren't we? Tell us more.
Yes. Hi, everyone at the Bin Podcast Network. You know me. I'm the one in your dream. No. Uh, we are multi-streaming, dual streaming with the Politics Social UK channel. The link should be in the title. So if you haven't already gone over, uh, tell them top of the morning to you, Governor, and hit the like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I don't know. What do you guys do
If
to
Dick Van
encourage them?
Dyke was dead, he'll be turning in his grave. Scott,
Gonna
Kate
elbow us, all
Simon,
of us.
Chris C, Alvone, Pete's Music, Rosie, Joanna, Kate in there as well, Alvone, and Rustinho, I don't know. Hello and welcome everyone in the chat. If you'd like to join our friends, our socialites in the chat, all you need to do is press the subscribe button on Politics Social, and you will get to join them after waiting for a minute, and don't be a troll, etc. Okay, so
At your own risk.
Mikey, JD Vance, right? Pope.
Mm.
One Pope, dead. One fascist vice president, still very much alive. Coincidence?
I mean, I'm not a Catholic, so I guess this is, I bristle at like mocking because we really had a lot of good Queen jokes for when y'all's Queen kicked the bucket, but then like immediately after, like some of my friends across the pond were like, "Hey, it's not funny, man.
Really?
That was our Queen, man." Yeah, some people get really bent out of
bollocks.
shape if you
Really?
I got chided for laughing at the death of the Queen, so that's why I'm like, all right, maybe I won't, go full two elbows deep on the Pope, because people get all in their feelings. They have like these connections to people that I do not share.
So Princess Diana died on a Saturday night, and on the Sunday night, that literally the day after, the day the news broke, really, that was the day she died. She died in the early hours. I was at a gig at what's now the O2 in Liverpool. It used to be the L2. They changed the name just to confuse people. But it was there was a gig on, and I remember distinctly walking into the gents' toilets because I remember that kind of thing, and asking while I was having a wee. I said to the guy next to me, "Anyone got any good?" Well, just anyone who was generally there. Anyone got any good Princess Diana jokes? And the jokes were coming thick and fast. She wasn't even cold.
Y'all are fucked
She
up.
wasn't
Y'all
even
are so
cold,
fucked up.
mates.
What's wrong with y'all internally? That is
What?
how that is your go-to coping mechanism. It's just horrid, dry, dark blue
Honestly,
humor.
I don't, I don't want it to happen, but it will one day. When I cark it, I hope I do it in a really, really amusing way, so people, get joy from telling jokes about it forever.
Is that
Funnier the better.
is that UK immortality?
Yes.
To
You
die in
die,
a
but you
hilarious
never
way.
really die because you carked it in such a hilarious way. You
I
will
live
live on.
forever.
You will live on in playground taunts for the rest of eternity.
I will be on the tongue of every Briton.
Yeah. But the Queen had a good sense of humour, as Chris C is saying. Yeah, And you got to have a laugh, haven't you? Have
I
you never been at a
guess.
funeral and just felt like laughing? Just started giggling
No,
at a
everyone's
funeral?
crying. We're sad.
Really?
We're
Oh.
grieving. No, we don't just like crack up.
I was at a
No.
funeral once. It was at the Crem. It was at crematorium. And as the coffin started going down, it started playing My Way by Frank Sinatra. And for some reason, I thought it was the funniest fucking thing.
I
Because it
thought you were
starts
gonna
with
say
the line,
Usher.
and now I face the final curtain. And it was as the curtains were coming closed. And I just started pissing myself laughing. It was really bad. I had to actually leave.
I wonder how
I
many
had to
times
leave the chapel.
I wonder how many times they get requests for that specific song because it's got all the iconography in it. And it's just like, because I used to host karaoke. Man, I could tell from 50 paces that group of girls wants to sing Baby Got Back. I can just, and it's sometimes it's telegraphed.
Yeah.
And I bet they're just like, let me guess, Frank Sinatra, My Way with the curtain. We already got to set it up for you. We already got that. Don't worry about it.
We got a question in the chat from Sarah asking how come there's a delay? There's a delay on my channel on Politics Socialist because I have subtitles, and to have the subtitles, you got to have a longer delay than the short one that you can have. You can like a really short one, and you have a longer one with subtitles, and you have a really long one if you want to just vet everything that people say. So I have on the medium setting.
No waiting over here. Come on over to the bin. Just come on. Just shovel yourselves in here.
Good luck following things if you're deaf. Thanks for that, Mikey, ableist.
You can have 2 tabs open.
Yeah, true.
You know, that we have the technology. We can multi-tab it. But multitasking, did you hear about our Homeland Security Secretary?
On another Signal chat. Is this the
No,
guy?
no.
Oh, no, there's something else. Oh, okay.
No,
sorry, I was getting mixed up with your defense secretary.
No, the dog killer.
Oh, Noem.
Yes.
What's her name? Thirsty Noem.
Thirsty girl Noem.
Thirsty groan.
So Thirsty Groan was out having a post-Easter dinner with someone who wasn't named. But had her purse stolen.
What?
From the restaurant.
Ha! Oh well, never mind.
So there's like the police report or whatever. So it's like $3,000 worth of cash.
Yeah.
And then it's like a makeup bag, credit cards, passport.
Oh, okay.
And then like it was just kind of like, hey, you're like kind of like high up in the government and you already make a decent salary. Why are you carrying around $3,000 in cash? That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah.
You just have $100 bills on you.
But
on you?
Lucky for the thief. If that had been like $30,000 worth of crypto, he wouldn't be able to get hold of it. But in good old fashioned greenbacks and actual paper money, we're sorted. Paper money, paper US bills.
I mean, you've been on dates before. You've been out to dinner before.
Yeah.
Does the woman normally carry inordinate amounts of cash in their small, because they don't ever take the regular purse. They have to have a purse that matches the outfit. And,
really,
maybe it's a clutch. Do they normally just carry big fucking wads of fucking $100 bills? Because $100 bills is thick. That's a grip. That's not like I had a couple of 20s in my purse. $3,000 in cash. But hey, they didn't report is that her government phone was stolen.
Oh, I heard about a passport and her department security badge.
Yeah, so her ID's gone. Hopefully they don't just, pull the chip out of there and then reprogram it.
ID. Yeah.
Where's Secret Service? They're supposed to be literally keeping her protected. Someone stole her fucking shit. Like someone stole her stuff. And they're not saying, so the government phone thing, the fact that they either didn't report that it was stolen or that she doesn't use one.
Yeah.
Is bad. That means she's doing everything on her personal phone.
This is the woman who murdered a puppy. This is the puppy
For
killer.
looking at her.
In a movie, if you want to make someone or like a villain in a movie, you have them kill a dog. That's how the whole sort of John Wick thing starts, isn't it? You have the bad guy kill a dog to show that
the dog
he's
dies?
the bad guy.
Oh, I didn't know. I only watched the first 10 seconds of it.
Oh, it happens in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
No?
It's like the first 5 minutes. I only saw the first 4 minutes and I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I never watched the rest of it. Ruined it now. There's actually a book about script writing called Save the Cat. And it is just, if you're going to show that a person is a good person, have them in the first few minutes of your movie save a cat or something like that to show that they're the good person. And you have to follow them. And you have to
that happened in Moana.
Believe in them. Save the cat.
Moana saved the turtle.
She did indeed. Stuck tells us that Spike Milligan requested Glenn Miller's "In the Mood" to play as his coffin disappeared from view, as all his close friends burst out laughing because they knew that Spike fucking hated that song. Kate wants Ding Dong the Witch is Dead at her funeral.
Bunch
Chrissy
of
wants
symbols.
Highway to Hell. Johnny Cash's Burn the Ring of Fire. That's from Paul. Anne, I always look on the bright side of life at my dad's wake, but my brother and sister wouldn't let me and said it would upset the aunts. They're probably right, but Dad would have approved. I'll totally approve of always look on the bright side of life.
I want a dirge, some sort of very sad dirge. I want Enya playing.
What about the song Dirge by Death in Vegas?
Yes, that too. I want the remix
Killer
of that.
bassline.
I want nothing. I want nothing but sad torment, wailing, gnashing of teeth. I want all businesses shut down in the town. This is a thing. Something has happened today.
Yes.
I mean, they could keep everything open, like because the Pope's gone. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. That's your guy, you know.
Yeah.
Or if that's your guy, that's your guy.
Let's talk about this. So, yesterday, J.D. Vance, put you with eyeliner, turns up at the Vatican. He just turns up like a prick. And he says, I want to see the Pope. And
Bring me the Pope.
And the people around the Pope says, well, you know, he's recovering from double pneumonia. He's recovering from being in hospital for an extended period. You know, he's 88 years old. He's got a lot of stuff to do today. We're going to have to put him out on the balcony. He's got to say Happy Easter to everyone in Latin. He's got to drive around in the Pope-mobile. Like, seriously, this is the last thing you need. So what they did was they sent down a cardinal or someone to go and talk to him and call him a prick, basically, tell him he's a dickhead. And then he kicked up a fuss and he was like, I've come all the way here to see the Pope. And you know, he only converted to Catholicism in 2019. That's quite interesting, isn't it?
After he wrote his book.
Yeah, so he did all his sinning, he did all his drug taking, he did all his whoring, and then he magically decided to become a Catholic so he could be forgiven for all his drug taking and whoring. It's a thing that right-wing people do. Who's that twat? God, there's so many.
Got to be a little bit more specific.
Oh,
Tucker Carlson.
gangly twat, shit hair, talks in old Elizabethan English for some reason. Rapes women, probably, possibly,
Hegseth?
allegedly. Russell Brand.
Oh, that one.
He was baptized by the chief scout for some reason. Turn to religion.
I'm not getting in any water with him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he got to meet the Pope. Did little Hegseth, not Hegseth, sorry, J.D. Vance, and he there's a clip of him talking at the Pope, and the Pope's just like looking at him, going, "What is even here?" But like, J.D. Vance seems to have given the Pope the ick so hard that the Pope like literally had a heart attack last night in his sleep.
Is that what the cause of death is?
Yeah.
Or is it?
He had a stroke and a heart attack. Apparently. I mean, you know, I quite liked Pope Francis as popes go. He was all right. He said that people should care for each other, which is a step up usually from what the Catholic Church says, which is that you should hate everyone who's different to you because they're going to burn in hell.
I'm waiting for like the fire and brimstone pope. Like, if you're a pope, like,
that might be happening next.
Do some cool shit. Like, get your Pope-mobile hooked up. Make it bigger.
Yeah.
Make it a 5-seater. You know, give it a second row seating. Like, upgrade the Vatican.
What, like have like groupies? They're in the back.
Get a Twitter account. Do something radical.
They got a Twitter account. There's a Vatican Twitter account that has been for a while now.
That ruins my joke. I know, just upgrade the times. Like, maybe get a pope that's like under 90.
Well, no, because the whole point is they've got to have been a cardinal for so many years and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, what's the prerequisites to get
got to be a cardinal? Got to be a cardinal at least, I think. And then it's you got to have so many years of service in the church, and
it's always something.
They have a vote, you know, and it's got to be 2/3 majority, supermajority for who gets to be the next pope.
Oh, they vote for it? Oh, I could win.
Yeah.
If it's just convincing people?
Already covered that. Got to be a bloke.
Well, that's not fair.
So you could be a trans woman. and they'll let you be the Pope, according to British law now. For some stupid
they're
reason.
not gonna know how their rules work if they get to implement all of them. I'm just really ready for all of these incel, turf, all of these sexually frustrated people who are just trying to wreak out and lash out at everyone else for their sexual frustration. Like, there will come a day when you won't be sexually frustrated, and then all of this will be like, oh my, why would I think that? Why would I do that? That day is coming for each one of them.
Yeah.
It is coming.
Yeah.
One of these days, you'll just go out on a lovely date with a trans girl and have a good time, and no one will give a shit because you're the only one that cares.
Yeah.
It's just you that cares.
Yeah. Well, I completely get that. I mean, like there was someone on, oh God, one of the social media networks saying, if you were on a date with a woman and she told you, like, you're getting on really well, and then, you know, before anything else happened, she told you that she was trans, what would you do? And it's one of those clickbaity questions, isn't it? But there were a lot of people saying, I wouldn't care. Yeah, if I fancied them, I'll fancy them. That's it. End of. Obviously, you got the turfs going, oh, I'd run away, I'd cry, I'd shit myself through my ears. And you're like, okay, mate, whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of people there saying, yeah, I'll just get on with it.
Because a lot of people don't care, dog. Like, no one cares about this except for you and your little boys club, where you look at sweaty hot men all day and then you talk about how straight you are and how being gay is the worst. But hey, let's look at these Brazilian jiu-jitsu clips. Here, you want to watch these clips with me? It's like, hey man, you're kind of part of the club. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. Yeah. You're the only one that's mad about this. But as soon as people can, deal with their own demons, I think we'll have a much better place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. But yeah, there's Britain's a very weird place at the moment. But then again, America's a bit of a weird place at the moment. And there are parallels. I mean, there's so many. We always talked about the parallels between the Brexit vote and the Trump vote, right? But also, you've got now, just before the Queen died, she got a visit from Liz Truss. And JD Vance is very much the American Liz Truss. I know that Trump has embraced Truss-nomics, the way to wreck the bond market and tank everyone's stocks and fuck everyone's pension funds and 401ks and all that. Truss-nomics 101, right?
For nothing. Literally nothing.
The thing about Trump and Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage, and all those gobshites is they've got a bit of personality about them. I hate them, but they've got a bit of personality about them. JD Vance has got no personality. Guy can't even buy fucking donuts like a normal person. He tries to make conversation, and he sounds. You working here? He sounds like an AI bot trying to make conversation, like one of those Japanese robots.
How long
have you been working here?
He's worse than that. He's like the corporate guy that comes in there, that comes into the shop, and then he's just like, so, when did you start your employment? Like, every single person, he asks them when they started working there, and it's like, dude, this guy's from corporate. He's trying to get us. He's trying to, like, attach us to our, like, he sounds like a rat, like a corporate rat. But that's him being friendly, is corporate rat.
But Liz Truss is very similar. So this is why I'm less concerned when people say, oh, when Trump carks it, then JD Vance is going to take over and he's worse. I'm like, he might be worse in terms of policy, but in being able to get horrible shit done, he won't have the advantage that Trump had, which is that Trump has a character. It's a horrible character. I hate his character, but at least he's got a personality. Whereas JD Vance, Liz Truss, no personality whatsoever. They're no threat because they'll be gotten rid of. They'll be gotten rid of like that.
I got one, Tim Bristol in the chat over here says, Brexit and Trump both involved Steve Bannon.
Yes, they did.
So he's
and
the
Russian interference.
Yeah.
And Cambridge Analytica. And Facebook getting fined, getting sued for breaches of data. Sending targeted messages to voters based on information they had gleaned illegally.
I'm pretty sure Meta is giving all of their information and data to Palantir.
Yeah, yeah. Charles Stanhope has just dropped a super chat on my channel. Thank you very much, Charles. It's very kind of you. Get ready for all the wacko conspiracy prophecy theories from the right-wing so-called Christians about the next pope. Well, the thing is, Pope Francis was a little bit of an outlier because he was more of a liberal cardinal. Most cardinals are very right-wing, quite right-wing, just a little bit on that side of the political divide. The traditionalists.
Where's the progressive popes? Be like, yo, bring me all of the nasty bishops from the lower level that the diocese have been playing shuffleboard with so that nobody can prosecute them. Bring me all of them. Send them to the Vatican.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Until he shows up, keep it.
We've got a question coming from Alistair. Thank you very much for the super chat, Alistair. Hi, Mike. Hi, Graham. Mikey, do you think that Truss economics was a dry run of what Trump's doing now?
Yes and no. Yes, because Steve Bannon is backing it up. No, because he's very stupid. Like, I think part of this is his idea, and they're using it to do the Truss-nomics. He's been talking about tariffs forever, but that's because he's still, I mean, it's been what, 20 years, 30 years he's been talking about tariffs. He doesn't functionally understand the definition. He does not know what they mean. He does not know their outlook. He doesn't, or their outward effects. He doesn't understand who pays them. To this day, he has no idea. So when prices are going up, he thinks that they're just gouging on the prices from China. He's stupid. And we have to remind ourselves that sometimes people are just stupid.
Yeah.
And he is stupid, and he has way more power than he should have. Well, actually, power that he doesn't have. And I think I just saw Elizabeth Warren talking to the Fox business people, and she's literally like line by line having to explain to them that no, actually, he does not have the power to just throw out tariffs wherever he wants. If he's saying he's at war with Tren de Aragua, and he needs to put tariffs on Guatemala or Nicaragua, then that's where they should go. You can't just declare you're at war and throw tariffs on everything. But, if your idea is to Liz Truss detonate the economy, let the stupid dude do it. Who cares what it's called? Just as long as it's tearing shit up, that's what they want.
Yeah. Indeed. I mean, look, there's a lot. I mean, I'm just trying to look through my notes of like all the things that have happened this week. One thing I want to talk about, because this is a subject close to my heart, a couple of teenagers, one of which was only 18 years old. There was a couple of teenagers from Germany, Charlotte Paul and Maria Lepere. They were from a place called Rostock, which is 140 miles north of Berlin. And they were on this globe-trotting holiday around the world. They arrived in Hawaii, and they were interrogated in Honolulu International Airport for hours and subjected to body scans and strip searches, which included an 18-year-old girl from Europe being stripped naked and being told to part her legs while the female officer inspected her genitals. They've done nothing wrong. They weren't charged with anything. They weren't thought to have done anything. This is America today. Would you recommend any tourists come to America right now?
For what? Did they leave something?
A holiday.
Did they leave their $3,000 in their purse or something like that? Unless you have good reason, do not come here. If it's like a family thing and like you're gonna say goodbye to family or something like that, or it's an emergency, I get that. But for a vacation, nah, dude, no. You're much better served spending extra to like do something in your own locality. Like everyone is sitting around waiting for the next boulder to come smash us over the head. So don't show up here.
Yeah,
especially because a lot of people are going to be in a lot worse financial situation than they previously were in. No, don't come.
Poverty equals increased crime. every time. If you want to stop crime, you don't lock people up. That doesn't work. You alleviate poverty. That's how you bring crime down.
Free food is how you get rid of crime.
Yeah. So apparently, Germany has updated. Well, it updated its travel advisory to the US last month, as did the UK and other countries, and emphasised that a visa or an entry waiver does not guarantee entry to the country. This is after several German nationals have been detained at the border.
And these are ally countries.
Yes. NATO countries.
You know what I mean? Like, these are not like North Koreans that were like hanging out outside the South Korean embassy or something like that. These are just teenage tourists who are backpacking. They're like, oh, we're going to go kick it in Honolulu, and then they're going to go to California. And they have like a whole itinerary. They're vacationing. They're having fun. Do you know, remember fun?
Yeah. Well, you know, the only time in my life that and I've crossed a border into every country in the world, every single one. And the only time in my life that I've tried to cross a border and they've taken me aside to a room, questioned me, interrogated me for 3 hours, taking me fingerprints, taking me scanning me eyes, I wanted to see all my social media and stuff, and then said, no, you can't come in, was the USA. Iran let me in. Saudi Arabia let me in. Congo let me in. They locked me up, but they let me in. The US of A. And that was 8 years ago. I mean, it's just...
I think it's been almost a year now since I think I said it on one of the Friday Night Social. This place is 1/2 casino, 1/2 prison.
That's a good way of putting it.
It is. Yeah. It is either jackpot or jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the rest of us are just keep circling the buffet. We're just circling the buffet so we don't have to gamble.
Yeah. But it breeds desperation. It breeds people who will do anything, will do absolutely anything just to make it through.
It's capitalism. It's capitalism in a greenhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's severe capitalism.
So
it doesn't
grim.
Feel like it because, you know, like especially if you're born here, you don't really understand. I mean, if you're one in two Americans who've never left the country. Yeah. Not because they just never have wanted to like go on a safari or see the Maldives or something. They can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are already in the casino part. You have to play. You have to win yourself some breaks and some rest, and then maybe a couple of meals, and then you can go back to gambling.
But you and people in America, like, you're worked to fucking death. I only found out today through you that you don't get Easter Monday off work. No. And I know from talking to other Americans, there's no such thing as Boxing Day in America. Christmas Day, you get off. Next day, back to fucking work. No maternity leave, no statutory maternity leave in America. There's statutory maternity leave in Somalia. There's statutory maternity leave in Saudi Arabia, Iran. You know, these countries that we look at and go, oh, the treatment of women in these countries is very bad. And you're like, yeah, not as bad as America, though, where you just had to have surgery on your genitals after having a baby, and they want you in work the next day.
Well, there's no federal protections for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's usually based on employers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. How long did you get off of work from having Kara? Fully paid 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And then part-time disability, short-term disability for how long was that? 2 weeks? 8 weeks. So that's only like 60% pay? Yeah. But you have that, but everybody doesn't have that. Yeah. So there you go. So it's usually tied to your employer and what your position is at your employer.
Yeah. Yeah. The best country for maternity leave, Estonia. Guess how many weeks?
Sweden's pretty good. How many for Estonia?
62.
Damn.
Croatia,
That's the whole
58.
year.
Bulgaria, 58. The UK, 52.
Y'all get a year?
Well, there's entitlements, but it can't be that long. I'm looking at a website called
That's
Engage
crazy.
Employee.
You
That
get a
looks like too
whole
long for me.
1-year-old?
Yeah.
We're moving to the UK. Finna have some anchor babies. Not getting rid of us.
I'm gonna just try and have a look at another website just because there seems to be some discrepancies. I think it's not a year in the UK. I don't think. I'm just seeing you click on something and it's just like an article about it. I just want a list. Norway, Bulgaria, United Kingdom, Sweden, Slovakia, Croatia, Greece, Canada. Not far from you. Czech Republic and New Zealand have got the best for maternity leave. Norway, 343 days at 100% pay. 49 weeks of parental leave.
Yeah, that democratic socialism is bullshit. Yeah.
Or 59 weeks at 80%
looks pretty
pay.
Good.
Bulgaria,
looks pretty sweet.
Bulgaria, it's 410 days at 90% pay. United Kingdom, 273 days and 90% pay. Yeah, up to 52 weeks of maternity leave.
Baby, go put on that thing we like. We're going to Bulgaria.
Canada is 365 days at 55% pay.
Oh well, shit, that's close enough.
Yeah.
Back to the traveling teens. Ali said same thing happened to that Canadian female reporter from Montreal that was headed to the U.S. last month, and she was held for a week. Yeah, I think it's like 10 days, 12 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't come. Just don't come. Let this play out.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of cool stuff over here, but just let it play out first, because this is. I'm not sure what the goal here is. Revolutionize the American markets and onshore millions and millions of jobs, and you have no track record of success. And for them to just think that this dumbass is just he'll get the hole in one on this hole. No, he won't. He's holding his club backwards and he's facing the wrong direction. I doubt it. I doubt it.
I'm just looking at US states with paid maternity leave. And California, 8 weeks. Not 52, 8. And that's at 60% pay. Right. Delaware is 12 weeks. Minnesota, 12 weeks. Rhode Island, 6 weeks at 55% pay. Wow. That is, but the federally, there's no statutory.
Right. That's something the states would. That's something the states would decide.
Along with Papua New Guinea.
It's crazy. Like me and Tim have been saying it for years, or we've been saying it since they overturned Roe v. Wade. The women will put us all in cages one day.
Yes, and
they already outnumber
it.
They all outnumber us. And all it takes is for them to get organized, and we are in deep shit.
Yeah.
Deep shit.
Well, we get paternity leave in the UK.
No.
Not just maternity leave, we get paternity leave as well.
We get nothing.
In Sweden, you get 12 weeks of paternity leave. In South Korea, it's a year. You get a year off work, paternity leave. Never mind maternity. Give your kid the best start in life, mate.
And then they wonder why the kids are screwed up.
Well, yeah, because the parents weren't.
Because their parents have to work. Their two parents have 7 jobs between them.
Yeah.
And the kid's being raised by a tablet.
Exactly.
That's not fair.
Exactly.
And what's all that for?
Charles has just dropped £5 super chat fund. Thank you very much to Charles. Stand up there. Wrote to my local MP not to attend any Trump address of our parliament. Let's get a movement to get all our MPs to boycott it. That's a fucking good idea, Charles. Yeah.
Just have them talk to an empty room.
Yeah. Well, the Tories will turn up, won't they? The Tories and the refuck people.
And they will look ridiculous standing there with him in that half empty room. They better not show up, or else they're going to look just as
Yeah, but
ridiculous as he does.
the thing is, your backbenchers in Labour won't turn up, some of them, but like the front bench is going to have to turn up. That's a
I,
visiting
I
dignitary.
I had something else to do, and then they could just be out front having a tea party.
Mm,
It was like I would have made it, but I was just terribly busy. I was feeding Mr. Bear. He's telling me the loveliest. Just have a tea party out in front. Ignore him.
yeah, yeah. I'm having a look at the list of people likely to become Pope. We've got a guy from Italy, Cardinal Parolin, who's considered a moderate. And then there's a guy from Hungary, surprisingly conservative. There's a guy from the Philippines, politically left-leaning and a supporter of LGBT rights. There's Cardinal Zuppi from Italy, who's modernist and left-leaning. The guy we don't want is a guy from America called Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke, who is an arch conservative who was very critical of Pope Francis' reforms. There's a guy from the Netherlands who's a conservative. There's a guy from Ghana who could be the first black pope. That could be interesting, who's a moderate. And he's against the criminalization of homosexuality. So that's good. There's a guy from Sri Lanka. That'd be interesting. First Sri Lankan pope. But he's a conservative and he is against not just LGBT rights, but he's also against the concept of altar girls. You have altar boys. He doesn't want altar girls. And then finally, there's a German who's also conservative called Gerhard Ludwig Müller or Müller. So yeah, that's your lowdown on the cardinals likely to become pope. There's a few liberals in there.
I can sleep so much better.
Yeah, at least half of them are bloody conservatives, arch conservatives. I'm seeing the word conservative far too many times for my liking. But yes. Joanna says the front bench has to turn up or the political insults could be very consequential. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But the backbenchers don't need to turn up.
We're not in normal times.
Maybe that's saying man about a dog.
We're not in normal times. Do you want to send a message or do you want to capitulate? Like, this isn't Obama or Biden or Bush or any of these standard American politicians. This is the dictator.
Yeah.
Are you going to sit there and clap for the dictator, or are you going to just stand up to him and boycott him and protest him? This is the moment to do it. If you don't, then you don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, our economy is in such a precarious place at the moment because of Brexit, because of the Tories, their austerity, the handling of COVID, and then the Truss mini budget that knackered our finances. And it's in a very fragile position at the moment. And we are more exposed than anywhere else in our fellow countries that we used to be in the EU with, but our fellow countries around Europe, we will be in serious shit if America does say, right, that's it, we're not buying any of your stuff anymore. We're talking a big chunk of our economy.
Yeah.
So
I'd hate for people to not make money at the expense of standing up for what is right.
Yeah, but if you do that, then because the rich don't care about the economy. They can give a shit. They'll play games with the economy. They won't be not rich. They just might not be as rich, or they might get even richer. It's everybody else. And every time there's a shock to our economy, the number of people living in absolute poverty goes up. The number of incidents of domestic violence, of crime, of suicide, all of that goes up, along with the economy being in the shitter every time, because those economic factors lead to other social problems. So if I was Keir Starmer, I'd be doing exactly what he's doing on this. I'll just be sort of keeping storm and not really making any big pronouncements.
I mean, if you wanted a fast track back into the EU and being able to keep the pound and do everything, join forces with the EU and fight against Trump. If you capitulate to Trump and then try to capitulate to the EU, it's not going to work. Well, you got to pick a side, and I think the side should be the EU. You should pick the American side.
Capitulating, doing what he wants our companies to stop DEI policy, fuck off. It's got nothing to do with him. So if we did that, that would be capitulating. But just not making him, not making him look like a twat when he comes to visit. I think that's what's got to happen.
You don't have to welcome. You don't have to welcome him in.
We don't have the power that, say, Canada have over America. America's completely dependent on Canada for stuff like potash, oil, electricity in some states.
But that's the part. That's the part of standing together, because you look differently to Canada than if you don't. If the UK continues to act in a way that is in pure self-preservation, that's fine. Then people will say self-preserve. But if you are in unity and in lockstep, it's like we are joining Canada in their thing. Also, Canada, can we get a trade deal?
Well, we already have a trade deal with Canada, but no, I could get a better trade deal. Yeah, I know.
Hey, this is gonna be messy.
When it comes to the crunch, yes. When it comes to the crunch, yes. If we are forced to choose between the US and every other country in the world, I very much feel like we should be on the side of every other country in the world.
Yes, yes.
But up to that point, I wouldn't be making proclamations because we don't have that much to hold over America. Maybe do some stuff in the back rooms, just have chats with people off the record.
I would take the state visit away until the tariffs were gone.
He wouldn't care.
Well, then he can't show up. He would care that he didn't get to show up to his special.
Up more for us, for our economy, while the rest of Europe only has to pay a 10%. Well, they don't have to people have to pay in America an extra 10% for our shit.
Whether it's going to be one big punch or 1,000 little punches, the fight has already started. He already put up shit on you guys. You know what I mean? Like, he's already doing it. We're in the fight phase.
Yeah.
Well, we're past the talk phase. Like, he's already slapped y'all in the face and slapped the EU and slapped everybody in the face. And he says, now come to the table and deal with me on fair grounds. I agree with a lot of people where if I'm not slapping that motherfucker right back, I'm walking out of here before I slap that motherfucker right back. But if you just let him slap everybody about and just be disrespectful,
Joanna
then
makes
keep your disrespectful ass out of here.
Joanna makes a really good point in the chat. For one thing, we'll lose our nuclear option.
Who y'all fighting?
Nuclear option.
Who y'all fighting right now?
Russia?
Russia ain't invading the UK.
It's invading our colleagues and friends in Europe. It's invading our continent.
Right. So
that's stop at Ukraine.
Okay. That's not what I'm saying. You're missing the point. Your territory is not being invaded in the next 18 months. So if that means okay. Well, I mean, if you're on, can I finish my whole statement before you say no, it's not, or no, yes, it is?
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you are not in direct military threat and you have to if you have to renegotiate some things or find alternatives, that means, okay, it's time to start finding alternatives, because it should have happened already, but it didn't. And here we are. So don't let the fact that you need to find an alternative mean that you are beholden to maintaining the status quo. That means that, you'll be a little less protected while you find other options. But dealing with the tyrant, just keeping the tyrant close because he won't. And then what are you going to do when he sends drones to the UK? You know what I mean? If he's a psychopath crazy pants, then you're already in danger because we're not to be trusted.
I agree. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't be making proclamations. I wouldn't be, drawing attention, drawing the fucking eye of Sauron to us, right? Leave it on China, leave it on someone else for the minute, and have those backroom deals so that we can either do our own maintenance on our nuclear weapons or we get someone else to help us with them. The French, for instance, they have a nuclear arsenal of their own, but I would be very, very loath right now to give up our nuclear weapons. And the reason being, Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons in 1994. In return, Russia and America promised sovereignty for that nation, that the borders would be respected and they would have sovereignty over their own dealings. The Russian president didn't like who the Ukrainian people elected leader. And so he, first of all, he invaded Crimea, and then he invaded the whole country. And he wouldn't have done that if they had nuclear weapons. So, yeah, I don't trust Russia, and I don't trust America. Well, the American government, anyway. So, yeah, I would hope that our government is looking for options. But I do find it a little bit maddening that last year, when a lot of us were saying this could happen, Trump could win, and what's the world going to look like if he does, hardly anyone in Europe was getting ready for it. Ready for this, ready for what's happening now. No one was looking down the line. They were like, no, it'll be fine. I mean, checks and balances.
We can control them. We can control
checks and balances. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. We had a couple of super chats. Sorry, I need to talk about super chats. From Andy Thompson, thank you very much. People lost their shit at a black Doctor Who that explode for a black pope. That's why I want a black pope. That'll be fucking brilliant. Tim, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. The Pope popped it. Oh my God, this is what happens when you do a 14-hour day. Well, yeah, I mean, that must have been exhausting for him. Oh, you're talking about you, Tim? I don't understand what's happening here, Tim. Did you kill the Pope? Don't do that. I thought that was JD Vance. What else is in here? Golf courses.
Good night kiss.
How many times has what's his name? Fucking orange fucker. What's his Trump? How many times has he been playing golf since he got elected? Since he got made into Pope?
I think somebody did the math. We're at like $30 million that we've spent to fly him to Mar-a-Lago to play golf. It's been almost every weekend.
Someone worked it out that it could cost by the end of it like over $1 billion.
Oh, easily. For him to play
golf.
He was getting lit up in the first administration for being down there all the time and how much money it was costing, right? Because it's not just the airport. They also have to, shut down all the roads, and then they have to get the sheriffs out there to do crowd control on it. He just turns the city off whenever he shows up.
Oh, I realised that my goal for the super chat has only got 4 minutes left. So if you want us to go on a little bit longer than normal, throw some super chats in. Quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna piss off at 10 o'clock. Can we talk about Harvard?
Well, yeah.
So Harvard told Trump to fuck off. Other
That's right.
institutions said, yes, sir, no, sir, feedback's full, sir, and did all this DEI shit, anti-DEI shit. And Harvard said no. And Trump said, we're going to take away $2 billion worth of funding. And they went,
Do it.
And they called his bluff. And then the Trump administration put out that it was all a joke. They were only joking. They weren't supposed to have that 5-page letter that set out in detail all the things that they had to do and all the things that would happen if they didn't do it. It had been sent in error, apparently, Mikey. Sent in error.
They also went after their tax-exempt status.
Yeah. But it was in error. They were just joking.
This is why you do not capitulate to bullies. You tell them, prove it.
Yes.
You're going to hit me? Hit me. I didn't fucking think so. That's how you have to deal with him. He's not a normal politician. He's not a normal adult.
Yeah.
He's probably sundowning. He doesn't really remember anything. Oh, Steve, was that a 9-0 in our favor? Like, you didn't know what the Supreme Court decided, dude? It was a 4-page report. And the last page was all links.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you can't read? You can't, what have you been doing? It's fucking 2 p.m. and you're just now figuring out that it was a 9-0 and you're double checking. He's not there. Yeah. So if he wants to have his angry moment where he wants to yell at clouds and he finds the main governor, and they're cutting all the funding for the schools and stuff over there.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll see you in court. Cool. I know you're not allowed to do that. So I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do just because you want to incur some penalty on me. You're not allowed to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass, do what you will. I'm not letting you do something you don't have power to do.
Yeah.
consequences be what they are.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Alistair. Alistair, who's throwing in super chats like left, right, and centre to try and get us up to 10. Thanks very much to Alistair for all of them. And also to Darren Christian as well for the big chicken thumbs up. Cheers for that. Here's something from yesterday. The Pope's last public speech. Here's a part of it, right? How much
do love
contempt,
this Pope, don't you?
How much we're not going to get to talk about him next week. How much contempt is stirred up at times towards the vulnerable, the marginalised, and migrants? On this day, I would like all of us to hope anew and revive trust in others, including those who are different from ourselves or who come from distant lands, bringing unfamiliar customs, ways of life, and ideas. That sounds like a hell of a rebuke against MAGA.
Sounds like that Pope wants to get fucking put on a government watch list and then deported. If he would have said that shit at a college campus, they would have deported his ass, canceled his visa, put his ass on a ship straight to fucking El Salvador. You better watch your mouth, dead Pope.
Okay, cool. So we achieved the goal. We did the goal. So we're going to go on a little bit longer if Mikey's up for that.
So Graham, I have
yes.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
How do you feel about shopping?
Shopping?
Perhaps you'd like to shop till you drop.
I don't like shopping.
Now, from our friends at the CCP, you can get a 280-hour visa to go shopping in China. They are offering that to Well, I can do that. Well, maybe they're doing it for you too. But they're offering it to American citizens, a 280-hour visa. Come on over here and shop tariff-free. And they got all the name brands, the Gucci, the Armani, all of the best stuff. Come on over.
Don't you get a tariff when you come back into the States with all your stuff, all your merchandise?
Yeah, but you're gonna get it. But you're gonna get it for like $1 because they're just like offload. They're literally just, hey, do you want to just come over here and then just like fly it over with you? So they're offering visas for people to do just that.
Fun. That's quite fun. It's difficult getting into China. One of the problems that a lot of overlanders have who trying to drive to Singapore or Australia or something, they get stuck. They get stuck trying to get through because you've got Burma or Myanmar and China, and you've got to go through one or both of them to get down there if you're going overland, and both of them are not easy countries to enter with a car. When I was traveling, and maybe it's changed now, but you had to pay 100% charge on the value of the car. So if the car was worth 30 grand, you'd have to pay 30 grand to take it into China, and then when you left at the other end, you got your 30 grand back to make sure you weren't illegally bringing cars into the country. True story.
That's worse than putting like at Aldi where you'd put a quarter in the little slot and then it would unlock the shopping cart. So then when you were done, you could like get a new quarter.
Yeah, substantially more than the quarter. Well, it depends what vehicle you have. Well, I had friends who were trying to drive from Milan to Melbourne, and they got to Nepal and they just couldn't get across the border because they just had the money. And they were in a Fiat 500, Cinquecento, whatever it's called, the little tiny cars.
Yeah.
And they put it in a half-size shipping container and put it on a plane and flew it to Thailand. And the funny thing is they couldn't close the door of the shipping container. So they had to take the bumper, the fender, off the back of the car. And they had to start hitting it with a hammer. So all the back of the car was bashed in from them having to try and get the door closed of the shipping container to put on a plane to fly it from Nepal to Thailand because they couldn't take it through China.
Look, I could just replace that fender when we get back. Like,
I think that's what they said. I mean, like, oh, fuck it, it's just a fender. Big shout out to Alistair for all those super chats. So many super chats. Thank you, Alistair. He just threw a load of £1 super chats in to keep us talking. Davin Christian as well, thank you. And Katie Smith saying Stephen Miller is going to Exploded on TV. What's happening with Stephen Miller? Is there something happening?
Sorry, dog's barking. He's always on the edge of some sort of convulsion. He's always right on the tip of zero.
I'm just
The
saying that there's
neighbors are
something.
allowed to live. Zero. The neighbors are allowed to live
Um,
for now.
Americans should get reparations over migration. This is according to Stephen Miller.
What?
Americans to be paid reparations over trauma caused by Biden's migrant crisis.
Yeah, I'm 100% for that. But right before that, I'm gonna need black people to get their reparations. And then right before that, the native people are gonna need their reparations. So we'll just get those, rolling. And then once the dust settles from that, and I'm a bajillionaire, then we can totally start handing out whatever money is left.
Who's gonna pay these reparations? Like, is this like Mexico paying for the wall?
The same people paying the tariffs is the same people that are going to be paying them reparations.
Where's
Other
the wall?
countries.
Why does no one ever ask him where the fucking wall is? All the way through the presidential campaign, nobody said, "Hey, dickhead, you said you were going to build a wall. Where's the fucking wall?"
They didn't even ask where their money for the wall went, and it all went to Steve Bannon's pocket.
That's why he went to jail.
And he went to jail for not turning money or testifying about what he did with that money. He just said, "I'm just going to shut up and go to jail and keep my $75 million. Fuck that. I ain't saying shit."
Indeed. Big shout out to Jovian for the super chat. Thank you very much, Jovian. That's very kind of you, or Jovian. And Russell Cannon, you absolute legend. Thank you. 20 quid super chat. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Russell. Woohoo! We get another few minutes of me. And Darren Christian at the end there. Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Loosen up. So Hegseth in his second group chat.
Yes.
What did we do wrong to not get included in this one? Like, come on, man. Everybody gets a group chat with Hegseth except us. Pete, what do we have to say? Do we have to have a certain name? Do you need me to have the fist, fire, American flag emoji? Do I need to do that? How do I signal him that I also need to know what the national security secrets are too?
Okay, so the first signal chat that we found out about was between White House officials. So yes. It was the chief of staff, it was the defense guy, it was the
vice president,
etc. Right? Head of the CIA, head of the FBI, Pentagon people, right? Whatever. And this random fucking journalist who was just added on for shits and giggles.
A left-wing journalist.
This one was Pete Hegseth's fucking family. His mates. It was just his mates' signal group, and he was sharing top secret government details about an external operation to bomb a location in Yemen.
Perhaps he was just letting them know.
Was he?
He was just letting them know when the strikes would be going, because when there's strikes, he's not going to be available. So he was letting them know during these times, I won't be available. Just as a way to, because they like to keep a tight ship, loose lips sink ships and all that stuff. So they like to keep it tight. And he was just, updating them on his and our military's movements so that his family could be made abreast. I don't see what the big problem is. But please do not send any information to the United States. Do not tell us anything at this point, because it's just you might as well post it on Twitter at this point. I mean, what the fuck, dude? You literally had one job. Don't fucking do it again.
This is the quote from Airplane when Elaine and Ted are on the beach. They're doing the From Here to Eternity bit with the seaweed on them. My orders came through. My squadron ships out tomorrow. We're bombing the storage depots at Dakri at 1800 hours. We're coming in from the north below their radar. Elaine says, "When will you be back?" And Ted says, "I can't tell you that. It's classified." And this is the level. We are in an airplane stroke naked gun stroke top secret reality. This can't be real. Is it?
They promised he would stop drinking. It is clear and apparent that he has not.
Yes.
It is.
Wasn't he drinking during the hearing when they said you're going to stop drinking? What didn't he have a drink?
No, that was a filter. That was a filter because I went back and I went to the C-SPAN to see if I could get they put like a sepia kind of filter on there. He looked a little tanner, but his drink looked very brown. It was water. It was water. Okay. I double checked it because I was gonna run with it. I was like, ain't no way this boy's over here drinking bourbon during the press conference. I was like, this is bold even for him. And he drinking that bitch like water. I was like, it is water. But look, you can't just, fake it till you make it. A national security gig is a big gig. It's a big deal being the Secretary of Defense. That's why it's usually crusty, old, cantankerous generals, several star generals who have been, 35, 40 years at the job.
Yeah.
They don't, have white supremacist tattoos all over them and hang out with white nationalists as like a pastime and chant "kill all Muslims" at the hotel bar after they've had too many. Like those kinds of men and women don't do those things.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
He's fired all of them, and he is the remainder.
Yeah. But what you just said then, fake it till you make it. That's what rich people do. That's what these rich little nepo baby, privately educated twats do. They think they can do any job in front of them. You know that annoying kid in school who'd elbow you out the way so they could do it and they fucked it up? That's what they are. They're just kids who have never grown up. It's such arrested development. It's these 80-year-old men with the minds of 8-year-olds. Mine! I want it! Mine! Instant gratification!
You can tell when people haven't grown up with older siblings or any siblings because they just kind of act a certain way. They just kind of have like a fuck you streak in them. That's mine. I'll take that. And that doesn't have to be like only the only children, but sometimes people have siblings and they are the main character in their brain. And everything that is in front of them is obviously part of some larger plan. It will go perfectly. It's this delusion of just, and I mean, if you're going to fail up and you're Pete Hegseth, it doesn't get any better than failing up to Secretary of Defense. Like he's failed at just about everything else he's done, just like Trump, just like Vance, just like all of them. Elon, they just fail and get rewarded for some reason. And this is the pinnacle of national security failure upwards, sir. Like, he is not ready for this. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's fucking terrified by the spotlight. He doesn't understand that he shouldn't be in front of a camera so much. Every time he gets in front of a camera, he lies his tits off, which is immediately debunked. Just like he said, we never had no stupid reporter inside of our group chat. That is a lie from a bat. Bro, the White House is already... Okay. But I mean, that's reality is here whether or not their delusion allows it.
Yeah.
Good luck, y'all. Good luck. So yeah, y'all should, I mean, Hegseth is in charge. You sure you want to depend on our military?
Yeah.
I mean, we're actively helping Russia. You sure you want to depend on our military? Piss them off, dude. Fuck the.
We don't. But that's what I'm saying. Do the meetings in the background while we're edging away because we can't rely on America anymore. You guys are teaming up with fucking Russia, Moscow,
and Iran.
And Iran and North Korea.
Yeah, we have some allies.
And Israel. All the nice people.
How are we allies with Iran and Israel?
Yeah.
And Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
I think all four of those countries would be better off without our influence.
And this is to go back with what we were saying about the Harvard thing, where you had, the this letter that came saying they had to ban DEI, they had to revise admissions and curriculum, they had to rat on anyone who had said something or written something in the student rag that was anti-Israel. They were threatening to cut faculty power and to tell them to comply with these sort of ideological litmus tests, right? They told them to fuck off. But, I thought when Trump got in, this is going to be like the fucking Marx Brothers, do you know what I mean? This is going to be like Duck Soup. But actually, I was thinking of the wrong Marx. It's more like Karl Marx. It's more like Pol Pot. Because what they're trying to do is rid America of any intellectuals. They're going after schools. They're scrapping the Department of Education. They're going after universities. They're going after foreign students and locking them up or deporting them or sending them off to El Salvador, for Christ's sake. Like, this is what they're doing. And this is exactly what Pol Pot did in the 1970s in Kampuchea, in Cambodia, where they went after people who were like teachers. They went after people who were students. In the end, they started going after people who wore glasses. The people who wore glasses were taken out into the killing fields and fucking shot dead in the back of the head. Like, you can go to Cambodia now and see the piles of skulls that resulted in what Pol Pot did. And he wanted to destroy the intellectuals. He wanted to destroy the intelligentsia. And he wanted to reset to year zero and just have everyone working where? In the fucking fields. Where does Trump want everyone working? All you, pure-blooded Americans, where does he want you working? In the fields. He takes you back 150 years to when it was all agrarian and you had an industrial base and manufacturing. And China is looking 100 years in the future. He's talking about AI. They're saying that they're going to teach AI training to like 6-year-old kids in China. They're talking about developing solar panels and renewables, wind turbines, next generation of nuclear power stations that can't melt down. I mean, like, all this stuff they're talking about. And Trump's talking about taking everything back to what life was like under
1890s.
Woodrow Wilson or something.
A couple of things in the chat. Okay, I don't mean we're actually allies with Iran. I'm saying we voted with Iran. And I lost the other one. Oh, who stopped Pol Pot? Asks K. Graham. Who stopped Pol Pot? Vietnam.
Not really. He died an old man in his sleep in the 90s.
Just lost where it was. Oh, is the U.S. making friends with the Taliban in it? Yes. Us and the Taliban are just on again, off again. Oh, there it is. One Angry Pagan says, this period of societal flux is going to have a lot of consequences. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is why I think it's important for people to, like, while the crucible is hot, everybody needs to hold their ground and say no to what is no, because when everything does cool off eventually, you do not want the new line set up in some sort of way that gives a would-be dictator the leverage that they need to really put the pins on people. Because what happens if it turns into, okay, the UK doesn't want to do what we want to do, let's blockade them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's supposed to be your deterrent from Russia, who will also blockade you if you don't bow to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at that point, you can't work with them. You just can't work with them. It's unfortunate from a citizen's standpoint over here, just because it's like, for all the bluster about Biden and his eternal wars, he just wants war all the time. He wants to give you pain all the time. Like, that's years we've been hearing this shit. And as soon as that motherfucker got right back behind the driver's seat, he immediately starts the violence. He immediately starts the chaos.
Yeah.
Immediately. Doesn't wait. Because that was his problem the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Is he didn't just try to ramrod everything. He would have got stopped.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got these little pinch points, and he's got all these Republicans by the short and curlies, and they won't even woof unless he tells them to, which is really disappointing, because these are the same people who were like, yo, We're gonna impeach Obama every day.
Yeah.
Like everything he does, we're gonna get up here and treat it like it. Brother man is sending U.S. citizens to another country to die, and y'all ain't said woof.
Yeah.
The American people see it. Even the old crusty old white dudes were just like, "You're gonna bring that El Salvador guy back, right?" Talking to Chuck Grassley. "You gonna bring him back, right?" Because they see that wrong is wrong and right is right. We've been talking for months now about what happens when Trump does X, and what does America do to respond to Y. Trump is now at a point where his goodwill, his honeymoon, whatever glow he had from the election is gone.
Yeah.
No one is thinking about Biden right now. This is the spotlight has focused on him, and this is his administration. He's the leader of the country,
Yeah.
and they are all like rats from a sinking ship. They are scattering. They have no idea what they're doing. That just like they had concepts of a plan. Yeah, anybody heard them talk about fucking healthcare yet?
Nope.
Or childcare?
I still don't know where the fucking wall is, mate. I was told about a wall. There was going to be a wall. Mexico was going to pay for a wall. Yeah,
I'm
4 years to
he
build a fucking wall.
it's been lie after lie after lie, and now that his dumb ideas are having real effects on real Americans, these are risks that and that's his thing. He likes to just gamble all the time. He gambles with companies, he gambles with fortunes. He just goes with his intuition, and he's fine with everybody losing everything.
Yeah.
I don't know that the American people are going to let you lose this.
Yeah.
They're not going, or it's not going to be just I just declare bankruptcy and I'll just go do another job. As
Well,
much as you know what I mean, as much as he thinks he's controlling this, he is like incorporating instead of being the captain of the ship, it's like he's bolting himself into the ship.
yeah. I've got one last topic to talk about tonight, which is going to happen tomorrow, when Elon Musk is going to be hosting a Tesla meeting, which is going to have to
All of the other three people that work there.
It's going to have to address the largest drop in sales in the company's history. And investors are going to want to know how much the Trump's administration's 25% tariff on all imported vehicles are costing Tesla, even though they make the car for the American domestic market in America. The parts of the car aren't all made in America. Some of them come from abroad.
Right.
The self-driving cars that he's talked about for ages that are bullshit. The robo-tax fleet, the robo-taxi fleet that hasn't materialized. The Tesla Roadster that people put deposits down for 17 years ago.
Hyperloop.
The Hyperloop. and
they just can't stop falling for this shit. It's crazy.
The skip fire, and it looks like a fucking skip. That is the Tesla Cybertruck, which had to be recalled several times for various reasons.
You talking about some y'all can't set my Cybertrucks on fire. They need to be going back to the dealership for a recall.
Yeah. And he's kind of stuck in a no-win situation with where he's put himself, because if he says to his investors, which is the thing they want to hear, which is like, okay, I'm going to stop this Doge shit and look after Tesla full time and be a proper CEO. If he does that, then Trump's got to go fucking bananas and fuck him. And if he says, I'm sticking with Trump, then his investors are going to go, well, fuck this, we're pulling out. Even like the biggest Tesla bros in the world have a breaking point, a bankrupting point, you might want to call it, where they're like, I can't put any more money in this because I've lost it all in this stupid company run by a dickhead who does everything wrong.
I think he promised them that there was going to be like a fleet of government Tesla vehicles, and it was going to be like just like he did with the like with NASA and the rockets, I think he was going to try to get a fleet of Teslas into like incorporate. Because didn't he have some deal? I think he was trying to make some deal with even with the Biden administration. It was like $44 million. Like they
Yeah.
were like going to like mass order a bunch of Teslas, and then that fell through because the Republicans got wind of it. So then now that he's on Trump's side, and it's like I know his stock people are like, remember the guaranteed money we were supposed to have?
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Because their stock would be fine if they were able to keep up that fleet deal with the United States, but
Yeah.
somehow that just didn't materialize this time. I wonder why. Maybe
Um,
because you can't shut the fuck up and can't stop Sig Heiling at inaugurations. Maybe that's why you didn't get your fleet deal.
yeah.
Because I mean, Trump bought one personally, but I'm super shocked that they didn't just outright say, and all of my ICE workers will drive Teslas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised they just didn't go there.
Tim Ballum in the chat. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. That's really kind of you. Wasn't SpaceX meant to have landed men on the moon by now? We were supposed to be on Mars by now. This is like, imagine the 1960s when JFK said, we'll do the other thing, meaning go to the moon, right? And instead of having competent NASA scientists give it their all, so they got man on the moon within 8 years of JFK saying that. Instead of that, they just got in a load of vampire clowns from the Vampire Clown Academy up the road, and just got them into NASA to try and do it. And that's essentially what's happened in America. What's happened with Elon's lot. I mean, I'm sure that the rocket scientists working for SpaceX know what they're doing, but they're given some constraints, aren't they?
And there's this one guy I keep arguing with. I don't know why I keep doing it, but he's constantly trying to like fluff up Elon's like resume. And I'm like, all these companies he purchased, man.
Yeah.
He bought them. He doesn't know how to make a damn rocket.
Yeah.
He's not a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, you think he went to school to be a rocket engineer? You think that?
Yeah.
Of course he didn't fucking do that. He doesn't know how to make a fucking. Do you think he learned how to make cars? Or did you just go with it because he's the owner? He's like the owner of a fucking a sports team. Like, I don't think the owner of like the Bulls has like the sickest jump shot I've ever seen. Like, I don't think he could cross me over just because he owns them. Like, that's not how teams work. He owns a team. He's
Yes.
just owns a lot of teams. That's
Yep.
all it is. He
Yep.
individually, not that outstanding or creative.
Tim Ballum in the chat there. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Just don't mention Solar City. Oh God, was that something else? Jesus Christ. Musk
Sounds
is
like a level
Musk,
from Sonic.
Fat Panda Cat 1979 says Musk is exactly what Graham was talking about earlier. One of those people who assume they're an expert on everything. And there's drugs in it as well. I mean, this man has taken.
And he's a ketamine addict.
Yeah.
Brenda in the chat says, I'm more
face.
qualified to build a rocket than Muskie. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brenna has classifications. He studied this at an academic level as opposed to buying a company and then getting really high and bothering the engineers while they're working.
So Congress is off this week, I think, because of the Easter recess. But
Yeah, they're the only ones that get the day off. They're the only ones that get time off.
Yeah. When they get back, there's a lot of fuss being made over the SAVE Act, which has actually crossed the first hurdle of getting passed in the House of Representatives with the help of a few Democrats. There was a handful of Democrats who voted for this so-called SAVE Act. It stands for, I'm going to try and...
Suck all
vaginas eloquently. No, it stands for the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. That's what it stands for. Anyway, it's very, 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 very unlikely that it's going to get through the Senate because the Senate still has the filibuster, and that means that you need a 2/3 majority, or at least a 60 out of 100 majority, to get it through the Senate, and the Democrats have already said they're going to filibuster it. Or they don't really filibuster; they just threaten to, and it stops it going through. And I think that's going to happen to a fuckload of bills over the next few years that Trump's idiots in the House of Representatives are going to try and get through.
Nothing's going to get through. This is going to be it. It's going to be stagflation, just like the goddamn economy. Like, it's just going to be a whole lot of nothing going on.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, we've really gone over here, but I keep remembering stuff.
Yeah.
That I need to talk about.
I got time.
RFK Jr. talking about autism. Can we talk about this?
Again, people completely out of their depth. He has never gone to school for anything scientifically related to the human body. Ever. He's done no medicine. Ever. Not one course hour. Not one. He's done no medicine. None. But he is going to solve this made-up problem called kids with autism.
By September.
Yes.
And we're also going to have people on Mars by September, says Elon.
Do they not understand you can only have one carnival barker in a carnival at once? You know what I mean? It's like they're all trying to get their own big tops, and they're all trying to get, they're their own little megalomaniac in their own big tent.
Yeah.
Each one of them individually.
But
it's ridiculous.
He said...
You can't even talk. Never mind.
He said about autism. Now, one of my nephews is autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And he works. He's got a good job. He's got his house. He's getting on with his life. And he's quite autistic. He's quite far along the spectrum. This is what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said. Autism destroys families. Today's autistic children will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. There's actually dating apps for autistic people, but go on. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted.
He's an idiot.
What? Has he met anyone who's on the autism spectrum? Has he ever?
He has no idea what that means. Guaranteed. Just like Trump and tariffs, he has no idea what autism means. He has no idea what a spectrum is. All he knows is that you need to drink this blue alcohol liquid like I do, and that's what you should do. Like, he is dumb. This motherfucker is like, even Dr. Oz, like, he had the, like, Oprah's Friend, the TV show, he's actually like one of the most prestigious cardiovascular surgeons alive. We had there's a buddy, friend of the bin, who had an aortic dissection. They used Dr. Oz's procedure to fix his aorta. Like, Dr. Oz is actually quite renowned, like a heart surgeon. Ben Carson was a brain surgeon. This motherfucker is just dumb. He is just a big dumb guy. Yeah. I don't know why he's in charge of health. He knows nothing. He has no idea what any of this means, what any of it does. He has no idea that the definition of autism has been changed. And One Egg Ping says in there, in the chat over here, that he keeps conflating the words autism and Down syndrome as if they're the same. Like, he's dumb.
Oh my God.
That's what he thinks autism is. He thinks autism is Down syndrome. He's dumb. He should not be in charge of anything.
Oh my God. And he thinks it's caused by vaccines, which we've had for over 100 years, but now it's all starting now.
Yes. He's vaccinated, but he's dumb. and putting dumb people in charge who elect other or who nominate other dumb people, and shame on all of you Democrats who approved him. I can't remember if he did offhand by the vote. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong here. But you cannot allow these absolute pedants, these criminal morons in charge of things. The vile coming out of this asshole's mouth. And then and it's funny because I mean the measles outbreak in Texas has not been controlled. But there was a message that came out from his Twitter account, from the official Twitter account, that the vaccine is the way to go to prevent measles. But he'll never say it on camera.
But we got,
you know what I mean? His account will say it.
I just want to make it clear as well. People with Down syndrome doesn't mean their life is over. There's a lot of people with Down syndrome who have a job, who have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, who, get on with their lives. I obviously there are degrees, but like to say that about an entire group of, what a monster. And this is eugenics. Make no mistake about it. This is someone saying we don't want these people existing. We want to eradicate this entire group of people. And the difference is, right, if you are autistic, if you got ADHD or something like that, or you're neurospicy, you're fucking born with it. You don't develop it later in life. It's not a degenerative illness that you have that finishes you off in the end, like Parkinson's disease or dementia. This is the way your brain is structured when you pop out your mum, and that's the way your brain is structured all the way till the day you fucking die. It's slightly different to anyone else, but it gave a certain group in our communities an evolutionary advantage, and that's why it was never gotten rid of. In the same way that narcissists, they're on the neurospicy spectrum, if you want to call it that. But in a crisis situation, actually, narcissists are quite good people to have around, unfortunately. And that's why Mother Nature meant that that particular human trait was never gotten rid of. It's so frustrating. Like, ADHD is a superpower for some people. I don't know who, but, I don't know if I could have gone to every country in the world without flying if it wasn't ADHD. Hashtag just saying. Just saying. But yeah, just what a creep. What a creepy, horrible. And he sounds so horrible. He sounds ill. He sounds like a death rattle.
Look, his insides are gurgling to his outsides. He sounds like his insides.
Keller Heller says he is a junkie. Ernie's saying there are many autistic poets. I've worked with them. They write better than anything RFK Jr. could do. Yeah, I could imagine that. I got another super chat in from Tim saying Musk got Tesla to buy Solar City that was basically bankrupt from his family. Oh my word. But thanks for the super chat. And Ruth Guthrie, thank you very much. Do you do raids in Graham? Do I do raids in Graham? What, like Twitch raids? Like where you send everyone over to someone else's channel? Is that what you mean?
Oh, like a redirect?
Yeah. I do redirects. We do I do it on Sunday mornings over to Alex's Sunday Roast show, and I also do it over to Maximilian's. Is it Maximilian's show? Yeah. I do it over to Maximilian's show after Geoscope tomorrow. So yes, unless you're talking about Pokemon raids, and no, I don't do Pokemon raids anymore because it was bought by a fucking company that is basically owned by the Saudi Arabian government. So until they stop hanging people for being gay, I'm not going to play any more Pokemon Go. Thank you very much. I'll have me free time back. Thank you. I'd already caught them all anyway.
Yeah, I was getting a little bored anyway. And I was, what was I?
There's only so many different costumes of
36?
Pikachu you can collect.
I think I was like 36.
What? 36 what?
Level 36.
Oh,
36 or 38.
I was level 46.
Sure you are. Doesn't even go to 46.
It goes up to 50.
I was just part of my joke.
Sorry. Was like an Elon Musk joke where he pretends to play a game that he doesn't actually play?
He was over there. He was over there getting dogged out in the chat. If you guys haven't seen that, go try to find it on YouTube. There's video of him getting trolled while trying to stream live. Oh, it is true internet trolling because somebody got in there and they're like, there's no moderation. And they were just like, you're gonna die alone. Grimes doesn't love you. That's why you're all sad.
Captain in the chat says, I think there's a separate spectrum for stupid evil. And Tim says,
for the D&D.
Yeah, lo, the Lord thy God did warn thee about JD Vance, and behold, the prophecy have been fulfilled. Kate Smith saying, ooh, 46. I was actually only a few points away from, I was only about 1 million points away from 47. But with 883 Pokemon in my Pokedex, pretty much all of them, and all the variations as well. Maybe I could sell it. Maybe I could sell my Pokemon account.
Maybe that's what we should do. We
eBay.
should sell our accounts.
Sell it like a bastard. Do I play Magic the Gathering? No, I don't, but I would do if someone was having a game of it. I'm thinking of taking up D&D in my old age. What do you reckon?
I did a campaign. It's on YouTube. Ooh. It's called Nat One Heroes. It's very fun.
Ooh. Well, I got a mate who plays it, and he's a rock star. So I was thinking of.
I got something a little heavier in the works over here. Little game called Delta Green. Maybe you'd be interested. I'll talk to you off air.
Ooh, okay. All right. We're gonna have to wrap up the show because we've literally gone 32 minutes over. Well, I have anyway. Don't know about your stream.
We do things
if you want.
We do things a little differently over here at the bin. We go until we quit or get hungry.
Yeah, one of the two.
And I think the second one is coming up.
How are you doing with your subscribers? What are you on now?
We have 804.
Okay, cool. So you need about 200 more.
196.
196 more. So if people watching this on my channel would be so kind as to just click on the link after the show, after we're finished, click on the link down here. I look like I'm pointing at my dick here. Click on the link below the video where it says Mikey Famine from @the Bin Podcast Network. Click on that link or tap on that link and that'll take you over to Mikey's channel and just hit the subscribe button. Just a little bit of a favor for hit the subscribe button. There you go. I just hit it.
It's free.
It's free and it helps people out. And once you get to 1,000 subscribers, it opens up opportunities that you don't otherwise have.
They'll let us into the stream of traffic.
Yes. They'll let you
we
be
can
on
actually
the
be seen in front of
into the VIP.
Yeah, we can get into the actual algorithm and actually start getting seen by other people. It's like, damn, dude, how come no one ever sees our stuff? Oh,
so
gotta get our subs up.
Hannah Janes, who was on the show on Friday, so I was chatting to her after the show, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, but I never use it. I used to do like makeup and stuff because she's like a professional model." Mm-hmm. And I went, "Oh right, okay. How many subscribers did you have?" She went 60,000. I went. So I'm saying to Hannah now, if you want to do some live shows, I will produce for you. So well, look out for that. Hannah Jane's makeup and politics, maybe.
We're just pulling on our coattails. Please drag us along, will you? Please, if you don't mind.
Anyway, look, listen. Mikey, thank you so much for talking through everything. I mean, I don't even know if we got through half the stuff that I'd written down. It's like every week, just more mad shit happens. It's impossible to keep up.
Johnny B is our new favorite. People have come over, and if you do it while we're if you manage to subscribe while we're still live, you get to see the hilarious Wayne gif that shows up every time that someone subscribes while we're live.
What it is to go into a polling station and vote Tory.
So I don't know if you heard his joke about like check the fridge, like when he would have his laptop in the kitchen, and then he was on like doing that wrestling podcast. What was it? Steven Larson show. Shout out to those guys. But they would like keep trolling him and like, well, Wayne, your fridge is open. He's like, yeah, nice try. So like, no, Wayne, it is open. And then he finally turned and looked, and they captured it, and they made a GIF out of it. So I took that and I made it our GIF. So every time somebody subs, you can see Wayne check to see if his fridge is open, which it's not.
Yeah.
It never was.
Okay, well, I'll have to look out for that. So get over there, have a look, everyone. And before you leave this channel, give us a like. We always like a like. And also consider joining the channel. You don't have to, but if you do join the channel, you will get a little rose after your name, like Russell has, and Sarah, and Anne, and Kate in the chat there. They've all got little rose after their name. So all you need to is press the join button in order to get that. So thanks very much, Mikey. Thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for all the chats. Thanks for all the super chats. Love them. See you in the morning, 9 o'clock, bright and early, for Morning Brew. And until then, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.
All right, one message here from Brenna. Brenna will be doing a review of the original King Kong from 1933.